Let's dive into an overview of 3D printing that's easy to understand and covers the essentials. What is 3D printing? Imagine you're drawing a picture, but instead of using a flat piece of paper, you're building your drawing layer by layer to create a 3D object. That's the basic idea behind 3D printing. It's a technology that allows you to make three-dimensional objects from a digital design, and it's completely revolutionized the way we create things. 3D printing explained simply. 3D printing, also known as additive manufacturing, is a process where an object is made by adding material layer by layer, usually using plastic, metal, resin, or other materials. This is the opposite of traditional manufacturing methods, like carving or sculpting, where material is removed to create an object. With 3D printing, you start with nothing and build up. How does 3D printing work? Let's break down the basic steps of how 3D printing works. Design. First, you need a digital 3D model of the object you want to print. This design is created using software like Tinkercad, Blender, or Fusion 360. If you're not into designing from scratch, you can download ready-made models from websites like Thingiverse. Slicing. Once you have your 3D model, it needs to be sliced into thin horizontal layers. This is done using a program called a slicer, which tells the printer how to build the object layer by layer. The slicer creates a set of instructions for the printer, known as G-code. Printing. Now the 3D printer gets to work. It follows the G-code instructions, heating up the material, like plastic filament, and extruding it through a nozzle to create each layer. The printer carefully stacks these layers on top of each other until the whole object is complete. Post-processing. Depending on what you're making, you might need to do some finishing work, like sanding, painting, or assembling multiple parts. What can you do with 3D printing? The possibilities with 3D printing are almost endless. Let's explore some of the cool things you can create and how different industries are using this technology. Number 1. Prototyping and product development. How it's used. Engineers and inventors use 3D printing to quickly create prototypes of their designs. Instead of spending weeks or months waiting for a factory to make a part, they can print it in hours, test it, and make changes right away. Example: a car manufacturer might 3D print a new car part to see how it fits and functions before moving on to mass production. 2. Customized objects. How it's used. 3D printing allows you to create one-of-a-kind items tailored to your needs. This is popular in fashion, home decor, and even personalized gifts. Example: you can design a custom phone case with your name on it, or make a perfectly fitting replacement part for a broken gadget. 3. Art and design. How it's used. Artists and designers use 3D printing to make intricate sculptures, jewelry, and decorative items that would be difficult or impossible to create by hand. Example: an artist might 3D print a sculpture with complex patterns and details, experimenting with different materials to achieve a unique look. 4. Education. How it's used. Schools use 3D printers to bring lessons to life. Students can learn about math, engineering, and even history by printing models of famous landmarks or geometric shapes. Example: a science teacher could print models of the solar system to help students visualize the planet's sizes and positions. 5. Medical applications. How it's used. The medical field uses 3D printing to make custom prosthetics, implants, and even models of organs for surgery preparation. Example: doctors might print a model of a patient's heart to study before performing a complex surgery. Or researchers could print prosthetic limbs that perfectly match a patient's body. 6. Home projects and repairs. How it's used. If you've ever broken something and struggled to find a replacement part, 3D printing can be a lifesaver. You can print parts for repairs or create useful gadgets for everyday use. Example: need a new handle for your kitchen cabinet or a clip for a broken bag? Just design or download the part and print it out. 7. Entertainment and cosplay. How it's used. Fans of movies, games, and comics use 3D printing to make props, costumes, and collectibles. It's a popular tool in the world of cosplay. Example: want to dress up as Iron Man for a convention? You can print a replica of his helmet or even the entire suit with moving parts. Industries transformed by 3D printing. Aerospace. Companies like NASA use 3D printing to make lightweight and complex parts for spacecraft, saving both time and money. Automotive, car companies print prototype parts and even entire car frames, allowing for faster and more efficient testing. Healthcare, custom-made implants, dental aligners, and even 3D printed bones are revolutionizing patient care. Fashion, designers create 3D printed clothing and accessories, pushing the boundaries of traditional fashion. Construction, large-scale 3D printers are used to print houses and buildings, which could be a game changer for affordable housing. Fun projects you can try at home. If you have access to a 3D printer, here are some beginner-friendly ideas to get you started. Keychains. Personalize a keychain with your name or a fun design. Planters. Print small pots for your succulents and experiment with creative shapes. Tool organizers. Keep your workspace tidy by printing organizers for your tools, screws, or craft supplies. Board game pieces. If you've lost a piece from your favorite board game, you can print a new one or create custom game pieces. Phone stand. Design a simple stand for your phone or tablet to make video watching more comfortable. The future of 3D printing. 3D printing is still evolving, and the future looks incredibly exciting. Researchers are exploring ways to 3D print with new materials like metal, glass, and even biological tissue. Imagine printing custom shoes that perfectly fit your feet. Or one day, 3D printing an organ for a transplant. The possibilities are only limited by our imagination. In summary, 3D printing is a versatile technology that's changing the way we think about manufacturing and creativity. Whether you're an engineer, artist, teacher, or hobbyist, there's a place for 3D printing in your world. So, what would you like to create? The only limit is your imagination.